Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Karaoke Q&A. I'm Hal Kenny down in Knoxville, Tennessee. I've got my co-host Joni Lilly up in Pittsburgh. How are you, Joni?
I'm good. Freezing my butt off.
Yeah. Christmas Eve, I was in shorts and flip-flops.
So were we. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was 60-some degrees.
Yeah.
It was 66, I think, on Christmas. We were loving it.
And then, let's see, I was in flip-flops Christmas Day with jeans on. And then I packed up for my show last night and I came home and it was 27 degrees. So it's screwed up.
Wow.
It's totally screwed up. Who's your sidekick with you today, Joni?
Well, actually, my sidekick is Derek Tabella. He's a good friend of mine and a fellow KJ. He and I actually started with the same company back in the day, General Talent Associates, in the early 90s, maybe late 80s for you, I'm not sure.
Late 80s, I think.
And Derek has been doing karaoke as long, if not longer. We haven't decided who started first, but in the Pittsburgh market as well. And I wanted to invite another KJ from my side of town instead of Nashville. Love Cat, but it's like everyone's in Louisville and Maryville and all the villas out there, and so I wanted to have another northern person up here. I was actually going to have two, but the other one couldn't make it today. But Derek, the reason I have him, different perspective. A, B, he runs his rotation completely different than you or me. So it's going to be a nice rotation discussion today.
That's really what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about our subject matter today is rotations. And everybody that travels to shows, and they have their regular shows they go to, or they visit other shows around the country, you see so many different variations of rotations, and some it works for some people, some it doesn't work for people, and some it works. Your rotation may be completely different from mine, and it works for you. And it's not better, good, better, best. It's just how it works out for you. And we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of that. But before we get into that, I want to talk a minute about what's going on in the industry.
Of course, Joni and I have been talking about one of our
featured guest is going to be Kurt Slepp from Sound Choice, and he's going to be telling us about what's going on in PEP or PEP and the acquisition of the Chartbuster logo and things like that into their product line. But we're going to talk about that at a future show, but tune in for that show. What's coming up real soon is Mobile Beat, and that is coming up. That's the 20th edition of Mobile Beat, and if you're not going to Mobile Beat, you need to be going to Mobile Beat. If you're in the industry, any kind of, whether you're in the karaoke side or the karaoke DJ side, or one or the other, you need to be going to Mobile Beat because it is a phenomenal show. You'll learn a lot of cool stuff. You'll meet a lot of cool people. You will hallway network like you will not believe. The seminars are awesome, but when you sit and meet people in the hallway and have a drink or over lunch or breakfast or dinner, you can't imagine the information that you pass back and forth and you learn from each other and you teach each other and you don't even know you're doing it because you're having a lot of fun out there. That's how Joni and I met years ago.
Yeah.
We were out there and next thing you know, here we are, we're sharing information. The dates on that are March 17th, actually March 14th through March 17th. It's going to be hosted at the Tropicana in Las Vegas, in great Las Vegas. And if you haven't been to Las Vegas, you got to go at least once.
And the good thing is that this year, I think the swimming pools will be open. What? Because they're always closed in February when we have it in February. So this year, bring your bathing suits.
Right. And in March, middle of March in Vegas, it's warm.
Yeah.
And just so you know, go to the Mobile Beat website, check out all the entertainment, check out everything that's going on. But Red Foo is going to be there. Most people know who Red Foo is. If you don't know who Red Foo, it's what? LMAFO.
Oh, okay. LMFAO?
I don't know what the name of the
Laughing my effing A off.
Sexy and Annoyed.
Yeah, Sexy.
From Sexy and Annoyed. How about that? And then, of course, VIC, who did the wobble.
Oh, sweet wobble. Are they going to teach us how to wobble?
The wobble.
I want to learn how to wobble,
yeah,
so I won't get embarrassed this year when they call me up to do it.
So that's a great show to go to. Another one coming up is ARM DJs, and that's it. This year it's going to be ARM DJs 9.0 or 9.0. And it's in Greenville, Tennessee. Yeah, Greenville, Tennessee, the middle of... No, don't roll your eyes. I see you roll your eyes. Actually, it's within a one-day's drive of over 50% of the U.S. population. And you got to go to that one. Robbie Britton's been putting that show on for... This will be the 9th year. And it is an awesome two-day show. What are you laughing at?
I just realized that everything is crooked on the video, and I was trying to fix it, but it's probably not going to work, so... because I have no way to.
You think I'm worried about the pictures behind me? I don't think
No,
so.
yours are square because they're right behind you. Mine's on an angle, so it's all right. It's really straight. I promise you.
That's why I squared up so long. You're OCD.
I know. Kelsey would be going, guys, you didn't make the pictures crooked. That's
okay. And one of the reasons that we're doing this show kind of on a remote Skype this week is because of the holidays, and I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas holiday, and hope everyone had a wonderful New Year's. But Joni's in Pittsburgh, I'm in Knoxville. It's hard for us to get together this time of the year because of some scheduling conflicts and things like that. But real quickly, the dates on ARMDJ 9.0 is June 20th to June 22nd. And you can Google that and see, you can find that on the internet, find out if you want to look up Robbie Britton and the show, or you can contact me and I give you more of the information, and certainly Joni can get you more of the information. The keynote speaker for that one is going to be Larry Winget, and he is a rags to riches type millionaire type program to where he can show you how to make money. And really, we're all in this business to make money. We're having a lot of fun. We're also making money. Oh, one more thing about Mobile Beat. You know who's going to be one of the speakers at Mobile Beat?
No.
Bar Rescue. Who's from Bar Rescue?
Oh,
John
cool.
Taffer.
That's it. John Taffer's going to
How do you know these things?
Because I watch it
He
all
watches
the time.
TV.
It'll be cool to kind of hear what his perspective. Maybe he'll yell at us like he yells at some of the bar owners and managers and things like that. But anyway, hey, how's karaoke going for you? Tell me about that a little bit.
Well, it's kind of interesting because, first of all, love Michael. Michael, mwah, still want to marry you and bury your children. Although I think I'm a little dusty inside for that, but we could anyway. I digress. It started off working really well, and the iPhone users weren't able to submit their song requests, but the Droid users were. So we told them, and then they did an upgrade, and ever since then. I don't even know. People are submitting songs I don't have, and I don't know how that's happening because I gave him my database right from CompuHost. So I'm not sure if that was some songs that maybe were available at one time for unlocking on CompuHost or Digitrax, and then were unavailable, or it's just some problems that they have to work through. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Last night. This is going to sound really strange. I had my internet on my laptop while I was working so that in case somebody submitted a request, I could get it. And somebody hacked my computer, Hal. I'm not a computer whiz, but it said, my McAfee even said, somebody using an Apple product, I don't know if it was a phone or an iPad or whatever, logged into my network and froze my karaoke while it was happening. Well, luckily it was during my song. So I was the only one offended, you know what I mean? But I shut my internet off on my computer, and then I couldn't figure out how to get it back on today. But we got it on. But yeah, so I think that it's a great idea, but you're going to have those genius people out there that are grad students and computer gurus that are going to be able to get into your system and either send you a virus or screw up your system, or worse, steal your songs. Don't want that to happen. But I think what I'm going to have to do instead of using the house internet is just to get my own internet thing and have just the most ridiculous password that nobody can get on.
Well, now what you can do is if you're strictly using your computer for if you have to be online for any reason, maybe reset your firewall to block whatever is trying to come in. But it's so you're having some small hiccups.
Some small hiccups, and I really want it to work because it is such a great idea, and like I'm just not passing books out at all anymore. I'm down to like 6, and they have no covers, and they look like crap, and they're a year and a half to a year and 3/4 old, so no new songs are in there anyway, and I'm just trying not to pass them out to have to collect them at the end of the night, and it's just because for those of you that don't know, I do a lot of college bars, so by the time you pick them up, they're soaking wet, they're disgusting, they're God knows what, they could be in puke, they could be in beer, it's not pretty, so.
Yeah, I stopped using books probably 2 years ago, and I'm using a program called songbookdb.com, and right now it doesn't integrate with anything, and I know that down the road I think KaraokeQ is working on some kind of integration. The software, you and I are both running CompuHost. I have just recently upgraded to CompuHost version 3, and it's supposed to allow you to integrate videos between the singers. However, we're having a few issues with that right now. We're working those out diligently. But version 3 does work great, and it has a songbook integration that they're working on as well. That you can smartphone users can use their online songbook application and actually integrate right into Compios, a lot like what KaraokeQ is doing.
Okay.
The one feature that they're not doing is that the tip to skip or the bump feature, which we'll get into that in just a minute in our rotation.
Yeah. Are you using any kind of karaoke book still?
I have a couple. They're just cost prohibitive, mainly because nobody reads them anyway. They all walk up and ask you.
Wasting your time dropping them off and collecting them at the end of the night. They're nasty, like for what Jody was talking about. And I think Songbook DB will cost you $10 or $12 a month, and if you amortize that over a year, that's a heck of a lot cheaper than reprinting books once a year.
Yes, it is.
And you can do almost instant updates. You can spend 10 minutes at your laptop with whatever software you're using and update that software online, and your book is online at their disposal 24/7. They can look it up even before they come to the bar. But let's segue into our rotations.
Okay.
We all use different rotations. They work for us. And this is probably the biggest debate that happens in the karaoke industry is how to run a proper rotation. Well, there's no proper rotation. There's a lot of great rotations out there. Now, let me tell you about how I run my rotation. Let's take my venue tonight, for example. It typically starts out with maybe 5 or 6 singers at 9 o'clock, and my show starts at 9, and I go till 2 a.m. So it starts at 9 o'clock, and I may have 5 or 6 singers, depending on the night. Some nights I may have up to 15. Now, you and I know that it takes a rotation cycle is about 15 singers, 14 to 15 singers, unless they're singing something like American Pie or something like that. Well, the rotation went to like 12 singers because it's a stupid 9-minute song. Anyway, so what I do is during that first hour is everybody goes into the first rotation. Somebody walks in at 9, they go in the rotation. If they walk in at 9:30, they go into the first hour rotation. If they walk in at 9:55, they go into the first rotation. And then at 10 o'clock, I usually set it for about an hour. Unless all of a sudden if I get 45 people that show up in the first hour, they're all going to go into the first rotation. I'm not going to penalize anybody. But let's say for the first hour, you get 15 singers. At the end of the first hour, we're back at the top of the rotation, and then I add Bob, the new singer. I will add him behind the first person in the original rotation. Let's say it's Joni as the last person in the first rotation, and then Derek is the first person in the first rotation. He's going to be my rotation marker. Then what I will do is I will add Bob or Sally or whoever's the new person behind Derek. And then every other singer is going to be a new singer. Now, I do it with an exception. If it's a couple, a married couple, or a couple that rode together, a dating couple or whatever, I will put them together and I will keep them together throughout the night. Because if I get a very busy rotation, then what happens is they get spread out. Well, let's say he sung his song, but his wife or girlfriend hasn't sung her song yet. Well, then she may be, at the end of the night, she may be 5 or 6 people behind him. So I want to keep them together.
Right. Well, what if you have a group? What if you have a table of 4 that all drove together? Do you put all 4?
If they all drove together, I don't know that. But typically, I can't assume that. Unless they say, hey, we're all in the same car, but they won't tell me that. But I will typically respect the couples that are there together. Mm-hmm. But if you get, I get a group of kids that come in together from a local college, and they all walk in together. I don't know if they drove together or rode together or took the same cab together or whatever. I don't do that. I don't selectively keep them all together. But I will try to keep married couples that my regular married couples or my regular dating couples. I will try to keep them together, if not separated by maybe one singer. But and that's kind of you have to play that kind of by there's no hard set rule for that. So I do it kind of case by case basis.
Okay.
And then after that first hour, then I just start adding people. one right after the, I'll do a new singer, old singer, new singer, old singer, new singer, old singer. Now, at the end of the night, you're going to get somebody that shows up my show ends at 2 o'clock, and you get somebody that shows up at 2:45 or 2:50 that's maybe just gotten off of work, because we get a lot of servers that come in, and in the service industry, then I will throw them in if there's not new singers. However, I've had new singers to the end of the night before, and eventually I have to cut off even the new singers.
Yeah.
I'd say at 1 o'clock, if I've got new singers all the way up till 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll shut off even the new singers. And because sometimes they'll come in the bar, and they'll be there at 11 o'clock, and they decide at 1:30 they want to sing, and I've got a full rotation. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And again, it's case by case.
Well, let's ask Derek how he does his, because his is different, and he hasn't got to speak at all yet. So
Sorry.
Derek, tell us how you do yours.
Well, going back to what you just said, though, about people coming in late, one of the things, if you see your room filling up, I try to mention on the microphone a few times that I know you guys, a lot of you came in and that you might want to sing. Please don't wait till the last minute, because it's not going to happen. If you tell them that a couple times, then because if you mention that, even if you put your song in now, you're still going to be a minimum of, 30, 40 minutes away.
Right.
So, by that time you want to sing. And I pretty much run my rotation like you do. First person in the room is the first person singing. The only time I break it is, as you mentioned, if I get people that I know would be there earlier because they're working and don't show up till later, then I will squeeze them in, at least for the first round. I'll put them in somewhere, even if I take myself out of rotation, and give them my spot. People together in tables, like you mentioned, if they're all friends, I do try to do that, because in the long run, it speeds the night up, because you're not waiting for 30 seconds for them to walk across the room and hand the mic to somebody else. It's right there at the table. That table sings together, and you move on to the next person. So that's pretty much what I do.
I have a question. Okay, 2 things that he brought up that I wrote down. One is, how often does the KJ sing? 2, at the table. And I've been to his shows, and they do. They sit at the table. You're like, who's singing? I don't know. I think they're over there. Okay. Oh, okay. But he's making a point. I mean, they sit at the table and they go, oh, here, you're next, and they just pass around the table. So he doesn't have that, bring the mic back in between that
so
downtime.
They don't come up to the stage and sing. They sing right at the table with you.
Sometimes, yes. Or I'll walk. A lot of times, I walk the other mic over to the next person so that they're ready to go too.
Gotcha.
And if you have 3 at a table, they have the one mic, and then when I get to the third singer, while they're singing, I'll walk the mic over to the 4th person, and then take their mic from the table and say, okay, our next singer is Joe Smith, and he's ready to go, basically.
Gotcha. Okay, that works.
See, if I do that, I'll never see my mics again, because the kids will steal them. I get the mic back after each singer, and if I don't, we stop the show until I get it back, because they're college kids.
Well, I don't do a lot of college things, so that's probably my saving grace.
Plus, I wipe that microphone off after each singer with a Lysol wipe, because I'm a germaphobe, and everyone thanks me for that. So, it makes me feel good, and they're like, I appreciate that so much. I'm like, me too, because I don't want your cooties either. So.
Let's see. Now, Jody's been in one of my venues where they have to actually come up on stage. They have to actually take a walk from their table up around to the back of the stage and come up on stage. However, there are some that decide they want to jump up on the front of the stage, and I've actually had them jump up, slam their face in the stage, tripping and things like that.
That's a pretty high stage to jump up on.
What's that?
That's a pretty high stage to jump up on.
But I see it happen more often than not. And I've seen people face plant on the stage coming up, or face planting going off, and we try to restrict that. However, they don't listen to you, but that's okay. And a word to the singers: please respect the KJs. We're working real hard to bring a good show to you guys. We don't want to have to call 911 and
right.
Have to stop our show to get you taken care of at the hospital or EMS or something like that. But what do you do, Derek? What do you do when somebody comes in and how do you treat duets? Like if let's say you and Jody wanted to sing a duet together, and it was your turn, Derek. You guys sing a duet together, and then somebody else comes up to you and wants you to sing a duet with them, and then somebody else wants you to sing. Do you limit the number of duets or multiple singers on stage?
It's all a balancing act, but if I've had nights where maybe only one person in the night would ask me to do that, so that's fine. And if whoever you're calling up, that's their turn, and they can do with their turn what they want. But if people keep asking me that are shy and it looks like I'm up 5 times in a row, even though they're asking me, I try to tell them I don't want to do that because other people get the wrong impression and they think I'm hogging the mic. Just explain it like it is, you know what I mean?
Right. I had a case Saturday night where this one girl was putting songs in for her friend, and however, the friend was singing, but this girl was singing with several different people, and then one of my regulars came up and asked me, said, she's getting to sing an awful lot. I said, well, she's singing on these other people's turn, and she legitimately was. So you're right, it is a balancing act. You kind of have to handle it on a case-by-case basis to do that. Now, Jody, tell me about how you run your show.
Well, actually, you know what? On a prior episode that we did, I kind of talked about it, but I didn't come prepared because I think it might have been after the summit. It could have been the summit hangover day. I'm not sure, but
it probably was summit hangover day.
Before the CompuHost, this is I actually had one printed out. This is how I had my rotation, and what I did is the first singers. This is based on a 4-hour show.
I'm looking real close.
Okay. The first singers would go down. Okay, and there's 16 there. 16 fits in an hour if you don't piss around in between songs, which I try not to because I usually have a shit ton of singers. So I go through the first 16, and then after that's filled up, then I start putting them in across. So one person that's already sung, and depending on how many new singers you get, 1 to 2 new singers, and then somebody that's already sung, and then 1 to 2 new singers more. And if you see, I mean, you know, you've done it, you know, long enough, you can know how the night's going to go. I'm not trying to block Derek out here. You don't have to block me out. But there's some nights that you start off, you have a 4-hour show, and you start off really slow, but then it kicks in at 11. So in that case, what I would do is I would skip every other one. I'd skip the middle one and go to the third one and the 5th one, and then as people came in. So now I've already got a mixed rotation on the second time through, and then the new people come in, and then I go that way. So this, you know, and this also, I mean, if you go if you fill this whole thing up, there's no way you're going to get them all done in 4 hours. But it's also it's also based on the fact that people are going to leave waiting to get in, and you know that. And when you know how it's 4 minutes per song, you know how much time you have left, and you can start going through. Okay, at this time, we're only going to get people that haven't sung yet. Sorry, everybody, we're trying to get everyone a chance to sing. And you can, you know.
And that's another good point. Is I have actually gone to my regulars and said, look, I've got these people that maybe you've sung 4 times tonight. I've got these new people that want to sing. Do you mind if I go ahead and put them in? And if you have a communication with your singers, a lot of times they go, hey, no problem. Because if that person hasn't sung but maybe once, then yeah, they want to sing more. But if that person has sung 4 or 5 times, there's a brand new singer. They don't mind giving up their spot for a brand new singer at the end of the night because they probably are maybe not exhausted the songs they normally sing. Because singing 5 times in a night is pretty rare. Now, you showed that piece of paper, and you also said that you're using CompuHost. Within CompuHost or any of the newer softwares, they take care of the singer rotation for you, so you get away from the paper. And guys, welcome to 2016. And Derek, I don't know what software you're using.
I use Karma.
Using Karma, okay. Does it have a singer management aspect to it?
It does, but I don't use it. I still write them down on a tablet. I don't use slips, though. They just come up, let me know what they want to sing, and most of my singers, I know their rotation anyway, so you know, they come up, I said, if
I'm not there... You just write their name down and then type their song in.
And I just write their song. I don't even write the whole thing out, because I know, you know, if they sing Johnny Cash all the time, Ring of Fire, I don't even have to write down... I'll just write down Cash, and I'll know what song it is.
Exactly. And I'm using CompuHost. I know there's a lot of other softwares out there that are using a real nice singer management. I haven't used song slips in almost 5 years, and I love it because I just put them right into the system, and it manages my rotation for me. They can come up, and of course they always ask that proverbial question: how long before I get to sing my next song? Or if I put a song in now, how long will it be before I get to sing? Because I know it may be a long rotation. So I'm able to point right out on the computer. Joni can attest to this. You point right out on the computer.
Yeah.
Hey, you put your song in at 11:15. You're going to sing it at 1:45. or 12, 15, or whatever. So, because if you run a 2-hour rotation, which I seem to be running lately, which I love that. It's great for me and it's great for the bar. Sometimes the singers have to wait, but again, singers, you got to wait your turn just like everybody else does.
Exactly.
But the slips are something to, they're going away. But if you get them, that's great.
See, I still use the slips.
I know you do. You send me those funny slips.
And the reason I do.
1 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I have the rule that if you're too drunk to fill out the request slip, you're too drunk to sing. And it saves a lot of aggravation. They're like, I had some girl last night, she came up, she's got her drink, she's like this in front of my computer. I'm like, and she's like, I want to sing a song. I was like, okay, go through, there's a request slip. Just put me in this and that. It's like, there's a request slip right there, you have to fill that out. She's like, she just like walked away, like, boom, done. I don't have to take a request. She's too drunk to fill it out, I don't have to deal with her.
That's the me generation. I'm not wanting to fill one out, but
it's crazy.
Yeah, and it saves you a ton of money. Look how much money you're going to save at the end of the year.
Here, I have a question for you. If somebody puts a song, and this is for both of you, I'll ask him first. If somebody puts a song in with you, say they sing it all the time, it's kind of their song. After it was the artist's song, it became their song. And then somebody else comes in and they put the same song in. Who do you let sing the song?
The first person that put it in can sing it, but then I tell the other person, the song's already in, you can still sing it, but not on this rotation. It's not a competition. So put another song in now. When your name's called again, if you still want to sing that song, you can.
Interesting. How I deal with it is, whose ever turn comes up first, it's fair game. Once the song has been sung, it doesn't get repeated in the night. How about you, Hal?
I do the same thing. First in gets the song. It doesn't get repeated during the night, with maybe an exception. And here's where the exception comes in. Let's say a person sings, and the song we all love to hear, Picture, at 9 o'clock, at the beginning of the show. Yes, I know. They've come in to sing it at 9 o'clock. All right, so then you've got the service industry, you've got the bar hoppers. You've got a couple that comes in at 1 o'clock in the morning, and they want to sing Picture. Now, what I will do is, because the bar is probably turned over maybe 40 to 50% of its patrons from the happy hour and the early comers to the late comers, and let's say the couple that sang Picture at 9 o'clock or 9:15, they're gone, and their whole crew is gone, I may make that exception. And again, that depends on how I feel about whatever song it is.
I was going to say, Picture, no, sorry. I've even said, oh, God, forgive me for lying, but I've even said, I'm sorry, that was already done, and it wasn't, just so I didn't have to hear it. I am done.
For my shows locally, I'm sorry, but, I have done that, and shame on me, but sometimes, guys, we run 4, 5, 6 shows a week, and we've heard the songs. We really don't want to hear one more
It's really only 2 songs that I loathe, and that's one, and the other one is the Fugees' "Killing Me Softly." It's killing me painfully, is what it's doing.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, dear God, yes.
So yeah, that rule has a gray area, but yeah, as a rule, I do not let the same song be sung twice, and that's just me.
Yeah. Now when you said wait.
Another caveat.
Wait. Hold that caveat. You said the first in. Does that mean the first person who requested it, or the first person whose turn it came up that put it in?
First person who requested it.
Okay. See, I don't do it that way. If somebody came in at the beginning of the night and said, I'm singing this song, and on their first turn they didn't sing it, and somebody else came up and they wanted to sing it, that's who sang it. I don't do... See, so we all three have different.
That's still the same, though, because if they didn't sing it on their first turn, then it's not that important to them.
I know.
So whoever puts it in next, yes, it's their song.
But what I'm saying is all 3 of us have a different opinion on that, which is kind of cool.
I allow two songs per singer, as far as submitting 2 songs. And let's say they have 2 favorite songs they want to sing, and they're 2 popular songs. Let's say Gunpowder and Lead and Fancy, because I've got some people that like to sing. They rush to get in there to sing Fancy. And if one girl comes in and she puts in Gunpowder and Lead and Fancy, those are her songs. I don't care which order she sings them in, but she's already put her 2 songs in.
Okay, I got you.
So she's covered those songs for the night. And if somebody walks in at 9:30 and she's sung Fancy, but she hasn't sung Gunpowder or Lead, and somebody walks in and says, hey, I want to sing Gunpowder or Lead, I'm like, I'm sorry, somebody's already got it in their list.
See, I don't do that at all. I'm like, sorry, you got to pick something else. They're up before you, and that's what they want to sing.
Right. Well, we all, and that's where there's no real wrong way, there's no real right way to do it. We just do it to keep our singers happy. And I've had people come in, and you probably have too, guys, where people have come in from around the country and said, hey, but my KJ back home does it this way, or he lets me do this. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not your KJ back home. This is how we do it in our market. It's like, do you call it soda or do you call it pop? And it depends on where you live in the country. So it's a variation, and it can vary from one show down the street to the next show down the street. So rotations those will be the ongoing nirvana discussion from now until probably the end of time. I mean, moving from the paper age to the digital age really hasn't changed that at all. However, the digital age lets us manage it a little bit better.
And if they get that KaraokeQ app working the way it's supposed to for my college bars, it's going to be fantastic because they can see when they're up, and they get a bump notification on their phone. Oh, by the way, you're going to be up next. Oh, genius! They're drunk and they're at the stage already. You know what I mean? And they can bump themselves up, and like if they come up to you and they absolutely have to sing next, you can set the amount of the bump. Like you can set it to $100 if you want up. It's $100 to bump you up, and that bump could be 5 singers. Or it could be every singer on the way up. It could be $3 a song. So $3 per singer. You got 30 singers. Bam, $90 for you. Boom. It's going to be genius.
It's how bad do you want to be next?
Yeah.
That really is. It's how bad do you want to be next? And that's a whole other. I don't tip, skip, or bump. I live next to Nashville. And when I say next to, I'm 3 hours away from the Nashville market. And in Nashville, it's a totally 100% tourist industry. And down on 2nd Avenue and Broadway, all the bars are in that culture of tip to skip because the bartenders and the KJs, which sometimes are one and the same, that's how they make their revenue. So they're going to take your money so you can be moved to the top of the list because they know they probably won't see you again for another. They may never see you again, or they may not see you again for another 2 months or 3 months or 6 months. Whereas my singers come in every week, and I know, Joni, your singers, and Derek, the same way, you've got regulars that come in every week, and you know their personalities, and they know your personality, so they're trusting you to take care of them in the rotation because they're spending a lot of time in your place, whereas in the Nashville market, it's a hit and run. And, I've had guys come in from out of town and go, hey, man, I'll pay you $20 if I can sing next. I'm sorry. I don't do that.
Las
I have one rule.
Las Vegas was like that.
Rule, where if a guy walks in and wants to sing next, and he's got a $100 bill, he can sing next. And I let everybody know that's why he's singing next.
Oh, I do too. Believe me, I do too. So we're at like the half an hour right now, so we need to start wrapping it up. But there's a couple more things. Changing songs at the last minute. When they come up and they go, you know what? Instead of this, can I sing this? Do you allow it?
I do it. I let them do it now. I've had them come up and try to change it 3 or 4 times, and I suck it up. It doesn't happen that often. I mean, I get people to change songs every night, but and that doesn't bother me. It takes me 20 seconds if it takes me that long in my software. I change the song, bam, it's done. Usually it doesn't take more than 5 seconds because it may already be in their history.
Right. What about you?
Or I can look the song up.
Because
it's done. I just do it.
Digital, it's just so quick to do it anymore. It's not even a pain anymore.
Yeah, I let them do it too. I mean, although, and I did this last night, and we talked about this before I went to a show, and I saw, the singer came up to sing, and at that particular time, they're like, you know what, I want to sing something else. What do you have by so-and-so? And I did it, last night it was with John N., and he's one of my long-time regulars. He's been coming to my show since '93. And I said, John, I'll be happy to check out Ronnie Millsap for you. Let me call up Wayne first, and we'll look at your history, or we'll look at And he was just like taken aback, like, what? You're going to, yep, we got too many singers. Called up Wayne, and I pulled up Ronnie Millsap for him, and he picked a song, and I put him next. And so I changed his rotation order. He now went after Wayne because he changed the song at the last minute, and I was too busy to deal with it, and I didn't want people waiting. So I did do that.
I have done that too, where I said, look, if they want to get logging involved and looking stuff up and they're next, I said, why don't we do this? Why don't we get the next person up, and you and I can take a look at it while they're singing. And I've done that before. It changes the rotation a little bit. And I remind them that once I move them into that place, they'll stay in that place because I've actually had them come up later on going, hey, I thought it was before so-and-so. Well, we agreed that, maybe you didn't think about it at the time, but we agreed that you're going to be moved down one spot because you wanted to change songs. And, I guess the one aggravation is when they come up and they want to change the song 4 or 5 times before their turn. Hey, I want to change it to this. No, I changed mine. I want to change it to this. But you know what? That's just part of it.
I just tell them, I said, you know what? Tell me when I call you up. Just leave me alone. Tell me when I call you up to sing what you're doing.
That's
really?
Exactly right.
Yep.
And
Perfect.
Exactly.
And that's one of those that, if it wasn't for the singers, and I always have to remind myself, if it wasn't for the singers, I would not be doing what I'm doing today.
Exactly.
And, sometimes you have to grit your teeth and kind of grin and bear it and smile at them a lot and thank them a lot and all that. But we do appreciate them coming out.
Right.
But that's just part of what we do.
Yeah.
And we're technically in the service industry, and if you've been in the service industry, like probably all 3 of us have been, and we might as well say we are. We're like servers. We have to put up with the buttholes. We have to put up with the we have nice people, and we have people that we see come in the door and go, here comes. Oh, I'm so glad to see them. And things
right.
Like that. So we know where we are, and for all the other KJs that are out there in the industry, just, remember, if it wasn't for your singers, it's not because you're bar, but if it wasn't for your singers, you would not be doing what you do today.
Yep.
So take care of your singers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next time you get a bad singer, all you do is in your head when you look at them and they're coming up, instead of bowing your head and thinking, oh God, you go, that's my light bill. That's my gas bill.
That's a good way to think about it.
That's gonna pay the cable bill. That's gonna buy the baby new shoes or something like that.
That's a very good way to look at that. I will try to rearrange my thinking on that. Okay. How often at your shows do you sing? We're at 34, almost 35 minutes. So.
And because of my rotations, a lot of times I sang last night. But it depends on the night, and it depends on what mood I'm in. I don't sing like as near as much as I used to, but I'll do a shout out 2 doors down. At that location, I typically may sing once a night, depending on, I may be asked to sing with somebody, or I may jump in and sing something if the mood hits me. But as a rule, I don't typically sing a lot anymore because my rotations run so long. It's not about me; it's about my singers. Mm-hmm. And I could go visit another show in my market, go on to sing, and it's a personal thing. However, I love to sing, but and again, Jody, how often do you sing at your shows?
It depends on how many singers I have.
Right.
And the weird thing is I know a lot of people and I think you do. You start your show off, which is a great thing because you can set your sound. You know what I mean? And I don't always feel like singing at the beginning of the night, but I do have my regular John N. And I always put him first so that I can adjust the sound if I don't, if I sing, it's because I don't have singers. I don't sing, or if somebody goes, please sing this song, please sing this song. It just, most of my shows are too busy to sing. So if I have over 6 or 8 singers, I'm not singing at all. And I usually have well over that. So.
And I get my first singer up, so I can walk the house and do sound.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And I literally walk the house, and if you're not getting up and walking the room, you're doing your bar a disservice. Get up and walk the room and listen to what it sounds like right in front of the room and all the way at the back of the room and on the side of the room, so you get that good mix going, because you want everybody in the bar to hear what's going on, and you want them to come up and sing. So hey Jody, what's that on your shirt? What are you wearing right now?
You see, I don't know if y'all know, but the Steelers won a little place in the playoffs. Yay! Thanks to the Buffalo Bills.
They have a football team.
Yeah, we do. They're pretty well known. You might have heard of them. And we played the Cleveland Browns, who, people say that we hate them. We don't hate them. We hated them years ago. They became the Ravens. We still hate the Ravens. But Cleveland Browns, they're like our little, crippled, sibling that we just kind of pat on the back, and we cheer for them unless they're playing against us, and then we cheer for us, of course. But we played them, and it was kind of like when the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, and if this all happens, we can get into the playoffs, and it did. So that's why we're celebrating. And
congratulations. assume, Derek, you're a Steelers fan as well?
Well, if you live here, you have to be. They'll kill you.
They excommunicate you if you're not.
I need to wear my yellow and all the colors and things. Well, I'm kind of close. How about that? I'm close, you know.
Yeah, it's close. No, you don't have to, but I mean, for the rest of the country that may not be aware of this, but in Steeler country, a jersey, a regular football jersey that the Steelers wear, you know, with the name on the back, is appropriate, proper attire for any black tie function. Yeah, at weddings, people wear them. At funerals, people wear them. At church, people wear them. And nobody gives it a second look.
Right.
It's so true. And it's kind of like in Germany, if you go to like the Bavaria region of Germany, people wear the, what's it called? Amy's going to kick my butt for not remembering the name of it. But the German garb, what's it? Lederhosen. They wear that
yeah, exactly.
at operas. And that is proper attire for operas.
Right.
Well, Steeler jerseys are proper attire for, you know, fancy occasions here. So.
Right. Hey, well, while I'm thinking about it, I want to let everybody know that if you guys have questions or you have comments about our show, you can reach us at KaraokeQNA@gmail.com and send Jody and I any kind of, you know, if you want to just say, hey, you're doing a lousy show, you're doing a great show, or if you want to talk about a certain subject or something like that, you can reach us anytime. Send us an email. Let us know what's going on. And you also need to
Shut your phone off before your podcast.
and also, go on YouTube, look at us. Check out our old. If you haven't seen one of our shows before now, check out our shows. We're going to have some new guests coming on. We talked about Kurt Slepp from Sound Choice is going to be one of our on our show. We're going to do a lot, not a lot, but we're going to shoot one of our episodes, or a couple actually, while we're out in Las Vegas.
Yes, for the Mobile Beats. Around St. Patrick's Day, mark it on your calendar. Instead of drinking at home, come drink with us.
Come drink with us, absolutely. and be part of our studio audience.
Or part of our panel.
A part of our panel, absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you guys as part of this because it's all about the karaoke industry. We want to talk about whatever the subject, fat tongue again. What subject?
You're not doing enough of this, apparently, Al. Come on.
I have sushi right here waiting on me.
Oh.
Once we get off the air.
I'm going to go have sushi.
Don't turn your nose up to that. Don't turn your nose. I know you love sushi.
I do.
But, you know, is there anything you want to add? Jody, anything you want to add? Derek, you want to add anything? Before we say bye to our friends?
The only other point I had on the people singing the same song, I don't have a lot of younger crowd. Mine's like more like 35 and up. So a lot of times if they ask to sing the same song,
35ers.
yeah, I'll just tell them that I'll say, I just want you to know that somebody had already sang that. And a lot of times they'll go, oh, well, then I don't want to sing that. Let me switch my song. And it gets you off the hook. You didn't have to say anything except alert them to that fact.
Right. That happens more often than not. However, I've had actually people come in and go, I want to sing so-and-so next song. It's already been sung. Then they leave because that's the only song they want to sing.
Yeah.
They need to expand their library just a little bit. But what about you, Joni? Anything you want to add?
No, just come to Vegas and have a good time with us, and we're going to do a couple live Q&As from Vegas for sure, and hopefully we'll get Kurt in the next week or two, I'm hoping, depending on what his availability is, so
right.
Stay tuned.
Guys, thanks for watching our episode of Karaoke Q&A. Check out our website. Not our website, but just send us an email. Check out our YouTube channel.
You are.
So hard. Jody and I tried so hard the last 3 days to get this shoot done. The gremlins, there's so many gremlins in the machine that have kept us away from doing them. But we're so glad you guys are watching us. Pittsburgh, go Steelers, right? There you go. Guys, have
nice
a great
meeting
day.
you.
We appreciate it. Derek, thanks for coming and being part of our show today. But guys, have a great day. We will see you next show.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Sounds good. Thank you.